Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. I'm going to transition straight into it, why not? And we'll get cracking. Football Manager is back. It's had a little bit of an absence. Let me get the music started as well. Let's go with that one. Oh, need to mute my screens again. There we go. Right. Hopefully you'll all be able to hear the music. Let me know if you can't, and I'll tweak my audio settings again. Either that or I might be locked into it now. It depends, actually. We'll see. But yeah, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to Football Manager. Welcome back to Hatfield Town. It is good to be back in Football Manager. Lots has happened. Lots has happened? That's not right at all. A lot has happened since the last Football Manager stream. I finished off the season. Last season, I won. Where am I? We won the league. We knew that anyway. I also won the Aubrey Cup. Won 4-3 in the final against Colney Heath Reserves. That was a tough game. I'll be honest. That was a tough game. Good afternoon, George. How are you doing today? Doing well, I hope. So we did the league and cup double. We actually only dropped points once in the end of the season run, and that was against Hoddesdon. We went unbeaten in quite a long time. And then the new season, we had a good pre-season. Pretty good pre-season. James doesn't hear any music. Okie dokie, 1 second. How about now? George can't hear the music either. Alright, you might be able to hear it now. Yeah, what else? So we've only lost 1, 2, 3, 4 times this season and drawn once. Unfortunately, we lost in the FA Vars first qualifying round against New Haven, which is a little bit disappointing. And we also we've lost twice in the league. But in the cup, we're in the Spartan South Midlands League Division 1 Cup second round. Try saying that when you're drunk. And we're doing alright in the league. We're top of the league. I'm doing alright, thank you, George. I had to do some XVI related stuff today, which I didn't really want to do, but there we go. It's all done now, that's the main thing. And yeah, got me focused on M4J again. I can hear the music now. Awesome stuff. I was trying to play around with recording the music on a different audio track to the rest of the video, but it looks like we're going to have to do it on the same. That's fine. I'll have a look. I'll try not to change settings just before we start the stream next time. To update you all on yesterday as well. So Cities in Motion? No. City Skylines yesterday, I ended quite frustrated because first of all my food was ready and I was starving. Second of all, trying to get the station working. I had to play around on Steam Workshop while I was eating. And I came up with a solution. I downloaded I think it's Dresden, the one where it's got the elevated platforms either side and then it's got 4 platforms in the centre. I downloaded that. I've got 4 metro station platforms underneath, or double track platforms, and then I've got the normal ones on top, and I've connected it up to the rail network. I haven't connected it to the metro yet, but I'm quite happy with how it's looking now. And I have a bit of a plan for how the rail's going to work, and I've also built Gronley Central Station behind the metro station. So City Skylines will be back soon. I've downloaded loads of other tram and metro-based assets as well. So fingers crossed, I can fix some of the problems that I've been having. I also downloaded the Shinkansen rail tracks, which I've replaced the European ones with. I'm probably going to unsub from the European ones, get rid of them completely. Anyway, back to Football Manager. We are currently top of the league, 39 points after 15 games. So we are, in fact, I can see here, 13 wins, 2 losses. So we're basically 6 points off a full record, which is quite impressive, to be fair. Goal difference of 21. We're doing well in the cup. We're out of the Vars, which is unfortunate. We also lost in the Spartan South Midlands League Challenge Trophy against Alzey, who are quite high up, actually, compared to us in the football pyramid. Alzey are only like 4, I think, levels down from Stevenage. 4 or 5. One of the two. In terms of incomings and outgoings, we've had a lot there as well. So if I go back to, where am I, last season. So players going out, Allinson's left, Lee left, he was our backup goalkeeper. Flowerdew left, which I was really disappointed about. Goodens, Swamney, Gibbs, Eves, Crabtree. Crabtree went to Team Solon. And I remember a few years ago on Foot Manager, Team Solent were the ones that ended up with loads of ex-Premier League players playing for them. So I always keep an eye on them now. Arnold, our left back, he left to go to Yate. And then some of our youth players, which I wasn't too upset about losing. Actually, Arnold I would like to quite bring back at some point. But I'll show you who we've got instead, because we got a good player instead. This season, Ajamang, our first choice keeper from last season, he has left. But we've replaced him not once but twice, so we're okay there. A couple of midfielders left. Who was the other big loss? The other big loss was Luke Lofts, who I introduced you to last stream. He left to go to Enfield. And probably the biggest loss is Regan Upton, who was a centre-back. Really good centre-back. He's gone to Hazen Yedding, so he's actually got up to the Southern League Premier South. That's only a couple of leagues below the National League. So he's taken a massive step up. So good luck to him. We'll keep an eye on his career as it goes along. But in terms of current squad, this is my tactics, same tactics as before, and this is the squad. So I've got Alexis Andre Jr. in goal, who's only just joined us. I'm trying to remember where he joined us from. Slough, but has previously played. Oh no, maybe not. Oh yeah, he's played in League One once for Bristol Rovers. Played in the Vanarama South last season for Slough, on loan from Bristol Rovers, I'm assuming. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Callum Webb at right back. Then we got Weaver and Wara, both new. Actually, Weaver we had last season. Wara is new at centre back. And left back we got Kai Woolard Innocent, who joined us from QPR. Never played for QPR, but joined us from QPR, and it's always nice to have that statement signing. Does Football Manager 2020 record a history of every team as your career progresses? This data could be used to compute your team ranking using various alternate ranking systems. Yes, it does keep a record of everything. All the players, all the staff, everything has a record kept of their career. And you as a manager also have your record kept as a career. You can actually select when players and staff members retire. You can ask the game to keep a record of their entire history as well. Sometimes there is a little bit of data missing. Like you might not be able to log where a player is gone. So like for example, Clifton. His career goes all the way back to 13-14, which is before this game obviously. So his stats only pick up from here in St Ives. But all this is backdated. And this will get updated every year. Obviously, these stats will stay the same because he didn't suddenly make an extra appearance in 2015-16. But then anything from here onwards will change year by year depending on what team he signs for and how well he does. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so your team has a reputation level as well as a ranking level according to where you are in the league. So we could actually have a really good reputation despite the league we're in. And I kind of did do that a little bit. Not too much. In the past, I've really ramped up the reputation, and that's to try and sign better players than the league we're in. This season, I think I doubled it from like 250 to 500. I think it goes up to like 20,000. So it's a really, really small number. So it doesn't really make too much of a difference. So midfield, we got Rugare Musundo and Tom Tonks, carryovers from last season. Although I think one of them was going to be replaced soon. I'll show you who by in a second. And then attacking midfield, we've got Rodell Gordon, who used to play for Stevenage. Made a couple of appearances here. 4 appearances in League 2. 3 appearances in League 1. So this was the season Stevenage got relegated from League 1, 13-14. And he did play for us 3 times. So did Joan Gesson, so did Fijerio Kinaberhi, who got released at the end of the season, was told he wasn't good enough. These days he plays for Shrewsbury in League 1. Actually no, I think he's left Shrewsbury now. I think he's gone down to... Where did he go? Might have been Leyton Orient. I'm trying to think. But he was in League 1 for a season or 2. In fact, Joan Gesson I think ended up at Cambridge at one point. Wesley's an idiot. But yeah. So I do know Rodell, sort of. I've seen him play a few times. Then we've got Louis McIntosh at centre attack midfield. Then we've got Aaron Cole at left midfield. Who else did I have that could play? Oh yeah, Kieran Pament. And then up front we've got Tyrrell Hamilton. It was Walker, but Walker picked up an injury. I think he broke his leg? Broke his foot. So he's still out for another between 3 weeks and 2 months, which is a bit annoying. But Clifton was playing there, but then I found this guy as a free agent, so I brought him in. Both of my strikers are unhappy because apparently they're both not getting match time. And literally, I brought Clifton in for some cup matches and maybe one league match. I think he played like 3 matches in a row. And he was still complaining about lack of playing time. And then because I dropped Hamilton for 3 consecutive matches, he started complaining about lack of playing time. You can't win in this game. You can't win. But then on the bench we got Christian Navarro, Mo Seba Njai, Jason Herbert, Christian Sade, and then Danny Clifton. And then we've also got some players like Christopher, who's still in the reserves, Kyle DeGaris, who was my first choice keeper until Andre Jr. signed, Pament, who was out injured with, didn't even say, he is my left winger. Cole will get dropped when Pament comes back in. Troop is still here. I might actually play Troop in the next match instead of Tonks, just for the free kicks. And then we got other players like Gillespie, Walker, and then a few others who may or may not have been here. But yeah, Pennell is a player I'm bringing in at centre back, and I'm bringing in Rob Milson, who used to play for Fulham. I think he played for Wickham. No. Oh yeah, Notts County. That's where I know him from. Played against Stevenage a few times for Notts County, but I do remember him at Fulham because I used to sign him way back when I first started doing like Jeffreys United and teams like that. Anyway, you don't want to see me yak. You want to see me play some football, so we're going to do that. We got Coney Heath away in a cup competition, I believe, and then we're back to the league. So I'm going to try and get as much of the season done today as possible. This is still the second season, so we missed the first 15 league matches plus the extra cup games. We haven't missed too much, really. Not too much. I'm hoping the game loads up quite quickly. So the first Patreon only video went up yesterday. It's had 3 views. 2 of them are me, because I was trying to get the link to share on Patreon and on Discord. I was testing out some Discord bots yesterday as well, and this morning. So from now on, I'm going to try and schedule posts from the M4J bot. I'm going to see if I can change the avatar for the bot, so you'll recognise it as the M4J bot. Basically, that just streamlines my life a little bit more. It means I'm not constantly, particularly when it comes to the Patreon posts, I can just share them immediately as soon as the video goes live. I think it's pretty cool. I had some teething problems. Also, thank you, James, while you're here, for pointing out that thing with the Patreon links. I'd never noticed that, and no one had ever mentioned it before, so I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was quite a bad thing to have links that don't actually work. Hopefully they all work now. There's one that I'm still, I think the first link in the gold tier might not work. I did just copy and paste the playlist link from YouTube again, so hopefully it works. Yeah, I would like to bend the curve slightly in terms of average number of viewers to Patreon supporters, but I always stress it is entirely at your discretion as to whether you support on Patreon or not. And obviously there's the tier rewards, but if you just want access to the Patreon only videos. Oh, I thought I was accepting a trial. There we go. If you just want access to the Patreon only videos, you can just do the lowest tier, $1 a month, and you'll have access to those videos. All the posts get shared on Patreon, all Patreon only. Once again, I ask that you don't share the links with anyone who isn't a patron. I do trust you guys, though. And yeah, first of many. It's going to be one, I wouldn't say every week, but there will be more. I've already recorded the second one, I need to edit it still. And then there'll be other ones along the way too. So yeah. Good stuff. Right. Tom Murphy. I'm kind of sad that he's gone. I think he made, was it 1 appearance? Yeah. He was a kind of a player for the future, but you know, part of the series is about developing players and then letting them go out and forge their own careers. So there'll be an element of that. See some of these players here getting poached as well. You're not the greatest though, so I'll let you go. Now the board are probably going to be unhappy with me for this because he is over the age of 23. But he's got Football League experience, not to be sniffed at, even if it was for Dagenham. Let me know if the audio levels are okay. Let me know if there's any frame hang as well. I still don't know what's causing that. I still don't know why it suddenly started doing it. It's very annoying though. It's not going to be a massively long stream today. It's only going to be a couple of hours. There's a pub quiz thing tonight that I'm going to be doing with my family. I'll also do a shout out tomorrow. There's a quiz in aid of the Lily Foundation again, being hosted by Alan Davis from QI. So I'll definitely be there watching that. Big fan of QI. Right, team lineup. I think Pament isn't... Oh, he is actually... Do you reckon he's match fit? I reckon he might be match fit. I'm going to put Pament in instead of Cole. We've got Sadie on the bench. Walker's nowhere near fitness again. Tonks, maybe I could put him on the bench. Like so. And I think Pennell has to come in as well. I won't start him because I think that'd be a bit unfair on these two, but definitely on the bench. Did you know that recently, on a per team basis, Formula 1 actually has more races than American football has games? I did not know that actually. That's quite interesting. I do know that when I was at uni back in 2018, even before that, every single Formula 1 team had at least one University of Hertfordshire graduate amongst its ranks. I don't know if that's still the case since I left uni, but it used to be plastered on the back of some of the buses that drove around my town. I always found that quite a proud statistic, because at one point I was amongst the next potential group of candidates who could work for an F1 team, but because I never finished my engineering degree, that's not going to happen anytime soon, unless they're looking for a media guy, of course. I would like to do my engineering degree one day though, just to prove I can do it. Circumstances just weren't right at the time. Alright, throw in here on the right hand side. I must admit, American football, I like the Super Bowl. I watch it whenever I can. I missed it this year because I had to be up early the next day. But as you've pointed out there, they only play 16 games in a season, and if they get to the playoffs, it's 19 games in a season, assuming they make it to the Super Bowl. That's half a Premier League season. And they play from... is it October to March? Is that when they play, or is it a little bit before that? It's like half the year they're not doing anything. It's the off season. And they paid millions of dollars to do that. How strange. That was a good chance for Gordon there. Great ball from McIntosh. These areas though, that was always a wide angle. You've either got to lash it past the keeper or hope he makes a mistake. So I've got it on key highlights at the moment, but I have also turned... Oh, Troops on off and Tonks is on already. That's annoying. I have got it so that we get replays of clear-cut chances, just in case we do miss them. Webb on the ball, inside to Masendo. There's McIntosh. Good ball out wide to Pament. Crosses it in. Masendo now on the ball. I do like the way they move the ball around. A lot of people complained when the game first came out that wingers didn't cross and passing was a little bit iffy. But whatever they've done to fix it, it seems to have worked really well. They almost pass it too much now. Good ball in. Is that a flick on? Oh, wide from Masendo. Is that a clear-cut chance? We're going to get a replay of that. But not. I find that maybe it has to be on target to be a clear-cut chance. That was a good block. Oh, Webb, you could have gone to that. Could have easily gone to that. Yeah, I wasn't dropping the keeper. I'm alright with that one. Come on, boys. Let's try and... Ow. Keep whacking my knee. I think my chair's too close to my desk. I keep whacking my knee on things. Be nice to get a goal before half-time, is what I was going to say. Before I kneecapped myself. We're not playing very well. Hamilton's on a 6.4. So we had that good spell of crosses into the box that just didn't come to anything. Let's see what we can do in the second half. I've got Clifton on the bench who can come on if we need a bit more oomph up front. Here's Hamilton on the ball now. Pretty sure McIntosh was tripped over in the middle there. Referee now only waves play on. That should have been the end of the advantage because we had to pass it backwards. We were not gaining an advantage from that, ref. Alright, their keeper with the kick. Good control from Masendo. Nice ball into the path of Gordon. It's got quite a shallow angle again. Good pullback. Unlucky. I don't think he got enough purchase on it. Do we not get a replay of that either? I have still got it set up. Yeah. We were. Gordon thunders the free kick into the cranium of one of the defenders. That would knock me spark out, I'm pretty sure. Gordon's gone off. Sadie's come on. American football plays from August to February. Okay, Formula 1 plays from March to December. Premier League plays from August to May. Yes. There's also how many matches the Premier League plays as well. So they fit, league-wise, they fit 38 matches into that window. So how many months is that? 9 months? So 2/3 of the year. Oh wait. 3/4 of the year, sorry. 3/4 of the year, and they play 38 times, and that's just in the league. If you then add all the cup matches in, you're looking at closer to 50 to 55 matches. Plus Champions League, Europa League, all that stuff. Whereas American football, 16 league matches plus playoffs. And F1, I'll give F1 the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes there's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month between races. But they've got to get 2 cars, a team of about 50 to 100 people, from Singapore to, you know, Spain. That's quite a trek. Red card, Weaver sent off, you fool. Alright, Pennell, you're getting your debut. You're coming on from McIntosh. Swap these two round. So you're going to be a no-nonsense centre-back. No-nonsense centre-back. And you're going to be just a normal centre-back. Golf's always made me laugh because the season finishes and then the next week the new season starts. Although it also makes me laugh that the European Tour event is called the Race to Dubai and the final event takes place in Dubai. They also have events like all across the world on the European Tour. Whereas the PGA Tour, which is the US based tour, mainly has events in the US, and the Asian Tour has events mainly in Asia. For some reason the European Tour is global. I mean, it extends the reach, so it's not the worst thing in the world. It's mainly just the name of it. They might as well call it the Worldwide Tour at this rate. Go ahead. Up and over. That's a clear-cut chance, is it? But the shot on target from Masendo didn't count. This game. Although according to the stats, we've had no clear-cut chances. 12 shots, 6 on target, 4 off target. So I'm guessing 2 were blocked. Hamilton getting in behind, pulls it back to Hammond, finds Masendo, back to Hammond. That's not going to go in, is it? Pollard. Innocent to Tonks. That's a nice ball. Oh, it's a nice spin as well. Gets the cross in. Hamilton. Oh, blocked for a corner. Not bad. I think he was too far outside the near post though. Oh! I thought that was in. That was a great corner. Is that Pammon? Yeah, it was. Another good corner. He likes to go for the far post. Wait, who's that with the volley? Oh, Wara. I thought it was Webb. It confused me because I suddenly saw Webb get the ball in the halfway line then. Alright, I'm going to do some team instructions quickly. So, hit early crosses. Dribble less. I'm going to go a lot more direct. I think we're going to play a higher line as well. Distribute over, take long kicks. And offside trap. And that. Alright, Webb with the corner. Oh, Masendo. Part of the reason for more Premier League games compared to American football and Formula 1 is shorter travel times. Hundreds of miles compared to thousands. Still though, teams in England have to compete in Europe in things like the Champions League and the Europa League. Arsenal and Chelsea last season, 18-19, had to go all the way to Baku. I'm trying to remember where Baku is now. Bloody hell, how have I forgotten that? But they had to go all the way to Baku to play in the Europa League final. Azerbaijan. That's the name I was looking for. So there is quite a lot of travel. They have to go to Russia sometimes for European matches, or even the south of France. Sure, in the US they have to fly across the country, but the culture of flying across the country in the US is more normalized than it is over here. For example, Newcastle, for most of their away games, they either have to take the train or they have to fly, especially if they go to places like Bournemouth, Southampton. The longest ever, I think, away trip in Football League history is when Newcastle played Plymouth in 2010. No teams had to travel further for a match in England. So it's the equivalent, it's all about the ratio. So us taking a train from London to Edinburgh is the equivalent of someone getting on a plane in New York and flying to Los Angeles. I think the reason is American football is quite a relaxed sport. There's quite a lot of gaps in play. Is it an NFL match is 80 minutes long, and only about 8 to 10 minutes of that is actual game time, where the ball is in play. The rest of it is all timeouts, touchline instructions, setting up for the next play. Whereas the game, of course. Whereas football, sure there are stoppages, but far less. It's like 60 to 70 minutes of an actual football match is all in play. Now, I don't hate NFL. I don't hate American football. I'm just pointing out the fact that it's not as... what's the word? I don't want to say it's not as challenging, because tackling and that stuff is quite damaging on the body. It's not as endurance-based as other sports. Plus, there's a whole offensive team and there's a whole defensive team. That's one of the reasons why there's so many breakages in play, because the ball gets touched on the ground and then the entire team switches. Imagine that in football. You just had 11 other players sitting on the bench waiting to replace the A-team. Come on, boys, let's grab a goal. What is this letter after the time? Where's that? You're talking about the chat. Oh, penalty. Oh, the E. That means extra time. So because it was goalless, or it was, you know, the match was tied after the 90 minutes, we're now in 30 minutes of extra time, which is split into 2 periods of 15 minutes. Oh, Pamant. If it's still tied after this, it goes to penalties. In European competitions, you have something called the away goals rule. So we're the away team in this match. So were we to have scored... Is that offside? Yep. He's not having luck today, is he? Yeah, were we to have scored... So when Champions League and Europa League, the knockout stages are played over 2 legs. Let's say that Newcastle were playing Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final, because that might happen one day. Don't laugh. Might happen soon if the takeover goes through. Before we go into penalties, I'm going to explain this. So Newcastle are playing Barcelona. The first match takes place in Spain. Newcastle will be the away team. Let's say the match is drawn 1-1. Both teams score. In the second leg, in Newcastle, both teams don't score and the match finishes 0-0. In theory, the match is a tie, 1 goal apiece, but Newcastle will go through on the away goals rule. So effectively, in that scenario, their goal counts as 2 rather than 1. So you end up with these really strange combinations of scores where a team can draw 4-4 in a match and still get eliminated because the other team scored 4 away goals. And that does happen quite a lot. Some people have called for that rule to be abolished. I quite like it. I like the away goals rule because the home team has the advantage of playing at home. So to have the away team have that little advantage of their own, I think it adds a little quirkiness to the game. Oh yes, he scores this one. Good boy, Pamant. Right, new keeper. Let's see what you've got. Oh, that was a good penalty. That was a good penalty. Warren now. Had a couple of chances himself that he couldn't put away. Swats that away though. That's a very, very nice penalty. If I was that keeper, I would not feel bad about that. Yeah, actually, did he guess the right? I think he did guess the right way, didn't he? Brannan now. Oh, my keeper just guesses the wrong way each time. I've got a really bad cough today, as you can probably hear. Hamilton, that's a nice one as well. Little cheeky run up. Stop, start, stutter. Kelly now. So what's it? 3-2 to us. So going first might give us the advantage, but only if we can pull out a save. We're getting to the stage now where a miss could be very, very costly. Sadie. Oh, nice. Gave the keeper the eyes. Sent him the wrong way. He's going to have to buy a ticket to get back in now, that goalkeeper. What caused the goal to be revoked? Offside. So the guy who scored it, Pamant, who's the guy who missed the penalty as well, I must say. When the ball was crossed back in, he was in an offside position. Please don't make me explain the offside law. It's, I understand it myself, but explaining it to people can be tricky. I have to explain it to my brother constantly. The fact that, you know, you can be in front of the play as long as the ball is... No, sorry, you can be in front of the defender as long as the ball is played backwards. Or you're behind the ball at which point it's played. So the ball could be passed forward still and you'd be in an onside position, providing you were behind the ball at the point in which it was played. It's really... there's quite a few layers to it. That's a good penalty as well. Alright, we're into sudden death now. 5-5. All penalties scored though. It's impressive. I think we're going out, lads. I think we're going out. Penal on his debut as his penalty saved. Come on, Alexis Andre Jr. Show me what you got. long build-up. We had 45 fans turn out. Half the stadium is away fans. Oh, fair play. Fair play. They didn't put a foot wrong. Not a good start, Penal. You've got to make it up to the fans now. I'm a little bit gutted about the disallowed goal, but the replay showed he was miles offside. He was almost in a different stadium, he was so far offside. Do you know what, Penal? I would let you step up and take a penalty again. I do not mind. I like the fact I don't have to worry about the fining players for getting sent off anymore either, because it's the code of conduct which you agree at the start of the season. So I think it's 1 week's wages for the first offence, 2 second offence for red card. There's also things like if you miss training, or if you miss a match, or if you're late. There's a few things. I should have probably code it to you guys, but it basically means you don't get bullshitted by your players, or they will get punished for it. Which I think is only fair, because at the end of the day, despite the whole high-class status that comes with being a footballer, you are still an employee of a business. You must abide by the rules. And that goes for everyone. Player, manager, managing director, CEO, T-boy or girl. All have to play by the same rules. Some people don't seem to know that. Anything interesting here? One of me Murray's is doing well. They keep trying to get me to hire a new director of football. I'm quite happy with the one I've got, thank you. To show the penalties, the game compresses the match timeline such that the whole time is over a whole in-game day. No, that's not right. I think that's right. I mean, I can show you. This was before the. This is the day before the match, and this is the day. Oh wait, sorry. This is just before the match. We kicked off at 19:45. I was going to make a joke, but there's not many jokes you can make about 19:45 that are tasteful. So we kicked off at 7:45 p.m. and then after the match finished at 10 p.m. So the match would have finished around. Second half would have kicked off at 8:45, so around 9:30, maybe 9:45 at the latest. But because we went into extra time, it went another half an hour, so it took us up to 10, and then the penalties, which takes about 5 minutes. So it's about right. That would have been this headline here would have been written immediately after the match finished by whoever was in the ground reporting on it. So yeah, it is within a. It'll be like a 2-hour, 15-minute window if you include all the extra time, the switch over in extra, like all the injury time plus the switch over in extra time. In other words, the portion of the match before the penalties is zoomed out in order to show the penalties. But that doesn't change the ratio of the timeline. It's just you only have a limited amount of space. Yeah, because by the time you get to penalties, what happened in the match is irrelevant, so there's no point showing it. So they just zoom it right out. Because once you get to that stage, the only thing that matters is were your penalties scored or not. This Navarro guy, I might actually let him go. He's a backup left back. He's alright, but he's over age. Let me see if I can sell him for any price. Might start getting a return. Oh yeah, I might have promised the goalkeeper that I was going to strengthen the first team. I mean, there's not much I can add to it, in all honesty. We've got a good team. Any names I recognise? Not really. Anstey. There's a joke there, I'm sure. Francis Vincent would could be a player. I'll bring him in on trial, see how good he is. I know I keep saying I'm not going to sign players, I'm going to keep looking at the youth team, but there's not much. Like, all the good players here are already in the first team. Players like Stokes, I can actually Stokes is a target man. I'm going to bring you into the first team. We've got Phillips here, he's a left back, young left back. Eugen here. Adams, perhaps. So we have still got some coming through. But sometimes you just need a quick fix, like a stopgap, when a player gets injured or leaves, which happens a lot at this level, as you've already seen. Crabtree leaving was a bit of a blow. Luckily, Clifton came in at just the right time. What position do you play? You're mainly a central midfielder, but you can also play there. It's really tempting. Your first touch is good. What's your free kick taking? Corners are good. Penalty taking is also quite good. Are there similar extended databases for other countries? There should be. They're all community made, so it's worth looking. There might be one for, because in America, I think they got the MLS and then they got the, what's it called? The next level down from the MLS. Bear in mind you can't get promoted or relegated from the MLS, you are invited to join. It's a franchise. Which again, I've not really understood myself, because there's no incentive, apart from winning the trophy, there's no incentive to do well. So if you're middle of the team, there's no incentive to try and punch above your weight. But yeah, there normally are. I know there's a couple of European ones. If you really want a challenge, you can manage in like the Welsh leagues, which are in the game from default. The Welsh, the Irish, the Northern Irish, because they're, in terms of their stature, they're about level with, almost the level we're at now. But in terms of overall FIFA rankings, you can actually qualify for European competitions through those 3 leagues. So, who was it? I think it was Shamrock Rovers a couple of seasons ago got into the Europa League qualifiers. I believe there was one time, Bohemians I think it was, almost played Spurs. In fact, Shamrock might have played Spurs in a qualifier once. Cardiff Met Uni last season got into the qualifiers for the Europa League. So it is possible, and it's a nice challenge. When I did my journeyman a couple of years ago, I started at Llandudno Junction. Actually, I think it was Llandudno United. Might have been Junction. Ended up in Malaysia. No, I'm getting it all wrong. Started at Llandudno, ended up in Indonesia at Mitra Kukar, who at the time were just a random team that I joined, but then I found out Danny Guthrie, who used to play for Newcastle, also played for Mitra Kukar. He joined just after I did in the series, in fact. And I ended up back in Northern Ireland. It was an interesting series. I kind of miss it. No interest in Navarro. Oh well. I am paying some of my players quite a lot of money, but the club is still profitable. As you can see. It is starting to plateau a little bit, but income, we tend to make about 20 grand a month profit. So can I show income? So yeah, this season, actually, I might be able to do it from the summary. Oh no, maybe not. So income for the season so far, we're making quite a lot on grants, fair bit on sponsorship, and then we've got things like gate receipts, match day income, which is like T-bars, that kind of thing, merchandise. Actually, merchandise is down here. £79, that's not much. What's this one? Interest. Oh, is that like bank interest? Yeah. And then a little bit down here from other, which is very descriptive. Oh yeah, my academy. So as well as us winning the trophy last season, the Audrey Cup, our academy won 2 cup competitions last season. So they lifted 2 trophies. I mean, we lifted 2 trophies too. We had the league. But they won 2 cups, which I'm very impressed with. We have a good academy squad coming through. And it does seem like the under-23s and the under-18s is actually below the academy in terms of stature. Because I'm always asked to switch players into the academy team, and it always says they're ready for the next challenge. So it implies that joining the academy is the next step in their progression. So next up we've got hang on a second, I'm gonna have to mute my microphone. Oh, sorry about that. Next up we got Watson Park in the league. Now this is the league we're in now, is the Spartan South Midlands Division 1, which is the league that we normally start with Hatfield. So I'm in familiar territory here, so some of these teams are very, very familiar, like Watson Park. I've lost count of the number of times I've played Watson Park in my first season. Now I'm playing them in my second season. You kind of build up some unofficial rivalries with some of these teams, because you play them so many times at the start. Sometimes they might give you a bit of a thrashing as well, and you end up hating that team. There's so many stories I've read over the years of people who have ended up hating a player or a team because of something that's happened in Football Manager. There's a really good Jason Manford joke. He's a Man City fan. Once upon a time he had a tour of the stadium and met some of the players, and I think it was his dad said to him afterwards that he was really off with Micah Richards when he first met him. And he couldn't think why. It was only when he got home and booted up his laptop that he realised that when he's managing Man City on Football Manager, Micah Richards kept turning up late for training, so he gave him the cold shoulder in real life. What was that? Was that Academy? Yep, nice 2-0 win. Apparently we play our home matches the same day as the Academy. That's not going to do the pitch any favours. I'm going to put you there, you there, you there. Put you down as a stopper. Basically like a defensive enforcer. So the rest of the team, I might swap out Tonks for Troop. I really want Troop set pieces if he's still got the ability to swing them in. That'd be pretty cool. I do want to start. Where is he? Stokes. I do want to start him up front with Hamilton on the bench. This might sound like a dumb thing to do, but I think having this target man up top might be beneficial. Hold position. We might be tackle harder as well, because why not? I just want to see how tall you are. 180. Oh, you're only 6 foot. Alright, we'll try. Your strength is quite low. Alright, we'll try. We can but try. This might help his progression. He'll probably get subbed off after 10 minutes, knowing the match plan. He's only, is he 16, 17? He's making his debut. I like that though. I like finding youngsters in the team and giving them their breakthrough. I always class Football Manager as being separate to some of the other games I do. So I open TTD, City Skylines, Minecraft, I'm always building stuff. Whereas in this, I always feel like I'm just playing football matches. But really, you're building a team and you're building a club. And the project with Hatfield every season is to take them from the lowest league into the highest league and building a legacy. So you end up with a new stadium, new training ground, better academy, sponsorship, everything. And you've built that. So it is still a building game in many respects. And it's a strategy game too. That was a bit touch and go as to whether or not that was going to go in. Keeper managed to claw his hands on it in the end. This ball came in. Did he save it? I don't think he did. I think he missed it the first time around. Come on, Hatfield. Don't play shit now just because everyone's watching. poorly on the ball. Good challenge, Gordon. He's very good at this. He's a good, strong runner as well. Ah, he got greedy. He knows he's on camera, that's the thing. Oh look, Hamilton and Tonks on already. 20 minutes. Penal back to Pamant, ball in. Nice ball, someone was there. Gordon does bring it down. Can he get the shot? Yes, he can. Oh, I thought that was going in. I thought for a second that might have been creeping in. Webb's corner. No one on the penalty spot. I might have to change some of the positions. Set pieces. Okay, only a yellow. I was a bit worried then. Oh, bloody hell. Now we get the replay. They really are treating this like football broadcasting. Yeah, that wasn't a good shot from Gordon. He should have squared that. Hamilton was in a very good position. And I believe he was onside too. That was a good delivery, just not on the back post. Poor header away. I think from Webb. Oh, that's a hell of an effort. That could have been troublesome. Come on, lads. I have had matches building up to this one where we've had like a really poor first half, and then suddenly second half we've decided to come out and play football. I guess they were trying to play tennis or something in the first half. But suddenly like we'll score 3 or 4 really quick goals in the second half. We've wasted all 3 subs. Sadie's now on for Gordon. It's a shame. I really like the match plans, but they seem to have gone overkill with it this season. It just makes changes, and yet in the beta it didn't do that. We waited until the second half at least before it started making subs. Easy pick up there for Penal. Nice ball, another nice ball. Get it in the mixer. They're nice crosses, just Hamilton's not getting on the end of them. I'm almost tempted to switch to 2 up front, set up a new tactic. Just so we have like a backup plan we can switch to. Alright, McIntosh. Ball forward. That's a nice header. That's a very nice header. You don't see that very often in football these days. That free kick was, we call it quite straight on. So that he hasn't got like the angle to get curl on it or anything. He's just having to lump it into the box and hope someone gets ahead to it. Fortunately, that was very nice finesse from Penal. Up and over the keeper. Go on, hit it, hit it. Offside? No? Goal. 2 goals in a minute. Look at that. This is exactly what I was talking about. That was a good ball in. A little bit bounce off. Sadie. Tonk basically just fell over and it came off him and went in. Hey, no, I'll take it. I'll take it. No complaints here. 2 goals in the space of a minute and suddenly we're looking rosy. Get that out. There we go. Get it out again. To one of our players, preferably Penal. Nice blocks. Not bad. Alright, Pamant. Crosses it in. Nobody there. Gets another go. First time ball. Nicely done. Oh, Hamilton unlucky. We get a replay of that one. This is good. This is called recycling the ball. So what Penal does here, passes it back out wide for a second cross in. That's called recycling. That was very good. First time ball in from Pamant was very, very good as well. He seems to be a good set-piece man. He was originally just brought in as backup. Lofts actually left after Pament came in. So he's kind of filled that role quite nicely. I will give some credit to Cole as well, because when Pament got injured, Cole filled in at left midfield perfectly capably. He's a good backup to have, because he can play wing back and left back as well. Off with the ball, Masendo with the header. Good first block, great clearance. Go on, attack, attack, attack. Is he going to hold it up? Looks like he is. He's taking it to the corner actually. A bit time wasting. I'm not against that. Not bad. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set up a tactic after this. I'm not going to replace this tactic because I've only got one tactic at the moment, which is the 4-2-3-1 with all the match plans set up. So a lot of it is a case of like cookie cutter, copy and paste from the this tactic into a new one. But I'm going to go with a different formation in slightly different mentalities depending on different scenarios. So I'll show you all that in a second. So it's quite in depth, but it's also quite easy. It looks more complicated than it actually is. That's the key. Keeper keeping a clean sheet as well. That's nice to see. And yeah, we're deliberately time wasting now. So he's just going to take his time dispatching this. It's a nice kick too. Come on, Pam, let's see what you got. Yeah. Good time wasting. Game management. The stream looks like it's lagging slightly. Is that the case? My preview is kind of stuttering. I think from now on I'm only going to stream at 30 FPS rather than trying to do it at 60. Especially during the summer. I'm probably going to cook my CPU trying to do that. I shouldn't have to make these sacrifices, but I will do if I absolutely have to. I'd rather have smooth running than slightly better graphical quality. Particularly if it puts off new viewers as well. As you know right now, I'm all about attracting the new people as well as hanging on to the old. So that's our 8th straight league win. You might not think it with how much I've been moaning, but I always want more. I'm the Pep Guardiola of lower league football. Right, so I'm going to create a new tactic. So I can use some of the setups here. There's one called the G-Gen press, which is what Liverpool use. It's this one here. High intensity running and you instantly win back possession. That's basically all it is. For some reason it's called the G-Gen press. What I like to do though is control possession, but I tend to make my own style. So I'm going to go 4-4-2. And then confirm that. So now we're in the tactics screen. I'm going to move these two forward. Do I have a... I'll switch back to the old one a second. You're all in the right positions, aren't you? Yeah. So if I save you... I'm just going to call you 4-2-3-1 for now. And then if I switch back to this one... So I reckon Hamilton and Clifton up front with Stokes on the bench is a good shout. So I'll have you as poacher, set to attack, and you're also a poacher. That's actually quite annoying. I'll put you as a deep lying forward, set to support. In terms of the midfield, I'm going to bring Tonks back in. So you're going to be a ball-winning midfielder set to defend. Actually, no. Swap these around. You're going to be a ball-winning midfielder set to defend. I tend to have my defensive midfielder on the left-hand side. It really doesn't matter, though, in the grand scheme of things. And then the central midfielder set to attack on this side. You are an inside forward set to attack. You are a winger set to attack. And then you're a fullback set to defend. You're also a fullback set to defend. If you're wondering what this is, you can have a position set of instructions. So anyone who plays in this position will have these instructions, or you can personalize it. So every time Penal plays at left centre back, he will automatically default to these settings. It's a really nice addition they added a couple of years ago now. I'm a big fan of it. I might as well have a sweeper keeper set to attack. Why not? It's a bit of fun. So this is the new tactic. So if I now go to match plans, what I can do here is select this one and just do export and save it to the cloud, call it that. And then if I go here and go import, go to the cloud, it's this one here, change it, change the name to 424. So technically it's a 4-4-2, but the game always calls it a 4-2-4 because attacking midfielders are classed as part of the attack rather than part of the midfield. And then select you, and then you just go through and change all of these. So prepared tactic, you just go current tactic and switch it. So all the ones where it says prepared, basically change that to current. I actually like the fact now that it's recognised that I'm not using the same tactic anymore, because in last year's game you had to change it and it would say current and you had to change it to the new one that said current, otherwise it wouldn't work. So I'm kind of glad that they've done that. That's good. So essentially, if I didn't want to go into the bare bones of the game now, I wouldn't have to change anything else. And for now, I'm quite happy doing that. As time goes by, though, you might have to change a few tactics here or there, because teams do suss you out. The AI susses you out. And I think that's something that, again, not many people know about. They always complain about how they're top of the league, they've won every single match, and then suddenly they'll lose one against the team that are bottom of the table. And the answer to that question as to why that is because they suss you out. If you play the same tactics every single game, just like in real life, teams will eventually work out how to beat you. Should I do this? You're Clifton, right? And you're Hamilton. So yeah, I want Clifton on the edge of the box. Does the extended database include all 6.4k football teams in the UK or just the top? If you go onto the forum, SI forums, I'm trying to remember the name of the post, but Dan, the guy who created this database, he's listed all the leagues and which level they're in that are in this database. So that's the best place to go, because right now I can't tell you for sure how many teams there are. There's roughly 20-odd thousand players though, but some of the lower league teams like Hatfield didn't have players to start with. I had to generate them myself. Alright, and then attack. You stay back if needed, stay back. Right, so now I've got two strikers. What I can do is have you attack the near post, you attack the far post, and then maybe have... I kind of want someone to mark the keeper, maybe you. Make yourself useful. And then on this side, stay back. Lurk on the edge of the area. I'm actually going to have you... No, actually no, because you're probably not the tallest person in the world. So we'll have you do that. And then you will also attack the near post, attack the far post, and then you are going to mark the keeper. Make yourself awkward. It's always nice to see that. So that's corners. Free kicks is a bit more difficult because there are more variations of free kicks. So this is the defending from the right, and then if I do defending from the left, you'll see that it changes slightly. But then if I go attack, let's have you. I'll just do stand with taker, and then you are going to be stay back if needed. And then on the right, you stand with taker, you stay back if needed. These two will always stay back. These two here, that's fine, and everyone else just goes forward. That's also fine. You'll see here it says type. So there are 4 types of free kick. We've got to set all of these up now. You're going to attack the ball from the edge of the area. You're going to stay back if needed. The rest of this is fine. This side, you're going to attack the ball from the edge of the area. You're going to stay back if needed. The rest is fine. To defend, you are going to stay forward. You are going to swap with the striker. Let's say you are going to be in the wall as well. So this is a small chance of a shot. So the direct one is you're going to shoot, pretty much. This one is you might shoot if you really are feeling confident. And then the other two are indirect, means you can't shoot on goal, you can't score. So a free kick for offside, for example, is always an indirect free kick, meaning you can't shoot on goal. Normally because it's from inside the opposition half, but also because you know, there are other circumstances that would lead to indirect free kicks. For example, if a defender passes it back to their goalkeeper, who then picks the ball up, that's called a back pass, and that leads to an indirect free kick inside the box. Which means that the other team can actually, it's basically a penalty, but the other team is allowed to fill the box with their own players and trying to defend it. And you can't shoot directly on goal, you have to pass it to someone who then can shoot. It doesn't happen very often these days, but when it does, it's incredibly entertaining watching. Like, Alan Shearer pioneered the layoff absolute blast it free kick. And if you ever watch some clips of him shooting at goal, his free kicks were venomous, to say the least. And that's basically what you do with indirect free kicks. He scored quite a few doing that. It's a nice little loophole as well. Lay it off to your teammate who then absolutely hammers it. I think I'm going to do that. You'll set up. Yep. Right, and then finally... oh, did I do attack? No, I didn't. So you're going to be lurk outside area. You're going to be stay back if needed. The rest of this is fine. You're going to be lurk outside area. So basically any rebounds should fall to roughly this area. Not always, but sometimes. And then this one, we're going to swap you to... I like having the wingers be the ones staying forward because they're quite quick. And you have the striker here. So by the time the winger gets to here and cuts it back, this striker should be around this area, which happens a lot. Welcome back, George. I'm just doing tactics, explaining tactics whilst I'm making them. Where'd you go? There you are. Swap the YouTube round. Oh, Squirrel's uploaded a video. Right, attack. So here, we're going to have you just lurk outside area again, stay back if needed, and then you lurk outside area, stay back if needed. Now we're done. Because throw-ins, you can set up throw-ins as well, but there's really no point. Unless you've got someone with a really long throw stat, or you've got the throw-in coach that Liverpool currently use, there is no point at all in setting up specific tactics for all that. There was me criticising Navarro just now. It looks like we're going to have to play him in the next match because Willard Innocent is suspended. My microphone unplugged then, sorry about that. 5 yellow cards leads to a 1-match ban. 10 yellow cards leads to a 2-match ban. 15 yellow cards, 3-match ban, and so on. There is a cut-off point where it no longer, I think it's around Christmas time, where it no longer applies. Alright, Francis Vincent is about to join. Cole has left. That's a shame. He wasn't a first-team player, but he was a very, very good backup. So it's quite sad to see him go. But Vincent's in now, so I'm quite happy with that. What happened to Milsom? Did I just not agree terms with him or something? I'm going to put you on the bench, and I'm going to bring you in instead of Tonks. So I think you would be a better player, because you've got more versatility as well, so you can be an advanced playmaker. Which would be quite handy. I can also set up individual instructions depending on where a player plays. So for example here, I could tell you to cross more often. You already cross from deep, stay wide, run wide with ball. And I can even tell you where to cross it. So I would like it if you crossed it to the far post. If we've got 2 up front, cross it to the far post, head it back across goal, should be an easy tap in. Not always, but mostly. You can also tell them to tackle harder and things like that. I try to avoid that because at this level you get a lot of red cards doing that. How's the map coming on, George? Wasn't I meant to be filling you in on something? I can't remember what it was. I'm sure there was something really important that I said I was going to get back to you with. If you can remind me about that, because I'll be playing OpenTTD again in the next couple of days. I need to get back into recording videos, that's my thing right now. So I'm going to have you cross to the far post as well. This is what I like about the inside forwards and the inverted wingers, is you can really mess with the opposition defence. You can basically make their left back, or in this case their right back, useless. This is what Stevens used to do really, really well as well. We used to just run all the time. I'm going to have you hold position, dribble less, shoot less often. And then Clifton, I'm going to have you shoot more often, move into channels and roam. As a poacher, that's perfect for him. And then I'm going to save this selection for 4. Alright, save the game as well, might as well. And then we can move on. Nice little Tactics 101 there. There's lots of other little things you can set up if you so wish. Like training, for example. I had a couple of players come through the youth system last season that were